Post-object art is neither mental nor material but a phenomenon of experience that is of our immersion in and commingling with the world in which we find ourselves.
Our only architecture today great screens on which are reflected atoms, particles, molecules in motion.
Her conceptualization of the post-object but the role she played in the experimental arts. She promoted the use of technology in art, the post-object mode of thinking about art, a new teaching praxis.
The piece was composed purely of words as the text instructed the participant to release a butterfly in a performance space or turn off all the lights or draw a very long line and follow it.
The question lingers therefore of how a conceptualization of attention as distributed, organized and endowed with value would operate if we as media researchers were to start with the medium itself.
Technology had and increasingly has significant roles to play in the creative collaboration process, including as translator or boundary object in an emerging collaboration aesthetic that foregrounds dialogic processes and new knowledge rather than creating art objects.
Revolutionary for its intentional focus on dialogic processes utilizing technology as both tools and boundary objects to generate new knowledge, and it was transformational emotionally, intellectually.
Acknowledge not only the convoluted learning curve that preceded the successful exhibition of post-object art in the museum, but also the web of institutional complexities that affect the reception of post-object art.
The spatial organization of the white cube is extremely complex and highly charged with cultural capital that favors the monumental art object.
The vision behind this initiative was to intentionally collaborate and learn about each other's world to create art using new technologies of the day. The outcome was revolutionary and transformative for the participants.
All secret spaces and scenes created and destroyed within the single dimension of information.
Attention not as a type of spectatorship but rather as a mode of participation and active perception and awareness.
Technology had and increasingly has significant roles to play in the creative collaboration process, including as translator or boundary object in an emerging collaboration aesthetic that foregrounds dialogic processes and new knowledge rather than creating art objects.
Impermanent in nature, percolating through the gallery walls, post-object art often requires a higher level of engagement from the viewer than a painting or a sculpture, considering that conceptually they intertwine the boundaries of art and life, and, in their constant states of flux, the post-object asks the audience to project their own meaning into the work.
Use the visual faculty, which also happens to be dominated by visual media such as television, news, photography and commercial film, all of them fundamentally immediate, objective and ahistorical, to restore the non-sequential energy of life's historical memory and subjectivity as fundamental components of meaning in representation.
Attention not as a type of spectatorship but rather as a mode of participation and active perception and awareness.